Have you ever noticed how money just seems to stick to certain people? They're not necessarily smarter than you. They don't seem to work any harder than you, and yet everything they touch just seems to grow. While you're working, saving a little, paying your bills, and your bank account just doesn't move. And you? You feel like you kill every financial plant you touch. You try to save a little, and a weed of an emergency expense pops up and chokes it out. You try to get ahead, and it feels like you're planting seeds in concrete. So you've just stopped trying. You've accepted it. You've told yourself, I'm just not a gardener. Well, what if I told you that the green thumb for money is a complete myth? Nobody is born a master gardener. The truth is, the person you're envying just understands something you don't. Wealth isn't about luck. It's about weeding. And staying poor isn't a destiny. It's just what happens when you let your garden go. And today, I'm going to prove it to you. My name is Jake, and my job here is to cut through the noise. They tell you that finance is complicated. But the truth is, the most powerful strategies are surprisingly simple. My goal is to show you how money really works so you can take control and get your money right. If you're tired of the confusing advice and want the straight talk on building wealth, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if this video gives you some clarity. Let's be honest, when you hear the word millionaire, what do you picture? Most people imagine someone who got lucky. Maybe they had a brilliant idea or they inherited it. We see their success as this big, flashy event. We see their perfect, harvested garden and we think, wow, they must have amazing soil. I could never grow that. This is the biggest lie we tell ourselves. This is financial learned helplessness. It's when you felt stuck for so long that you start to believe you are the problem. You tell yourself, I'm just not a money person. Or, it's too late for me. Or, I'll never get out of this. We look at our own little patch of dirt, maybe with a few sprouts and a ton of weeds, and we get overwhelmed. We think we just weren't born with the green thumb for money. So what do? We give up. We stop trying. And here's the harsh truth that will set you free. Weeds are the default. Negativity, inaction, excuses, distractions, and bad habits. They don't require any effort to grow. They just happen. If you do nothing, if you just sit back and wait, your garden will be overrun. Your financial life is a garden, right now, today. And staying poor is the natural default outcome of neglecting that garden. It's not a curse, it's just inertia. Building wealth isn't magic. It's the simple, daily, and sometimes boring act of becoming an active gardener. It's about deciding that you are worth the effort. My goal for this video is to hand you the gardener's manual. I'm not going to give you a random list of 10 habits. I'm going to walk you through the 5 essential daily tasks of the wealth gardener. We're going to cover everything from how to prepare the soil of your mind to planting the seeds of action, pulling the weeds of distraction, and finally, how to protect the harvest you are going to build. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is the simple daily mindset that makes a life of abundance the natural outcome. So where does a good gardener always start? You don't just walk out and throw seeds on hard, cracked, weed-filled dirt and then get angry when nothing grows, right? No, you have to prepare the soil. And in this analogy, the soil is your mindset. This is the ground from which everything else in your financial life will grow. You have to fundamentally change the way you think about wealth and, more importantly, the way you think about yourself before you can take a single productive action. This starts by killing that bedtime story that riches just drift in while you wait. Money gravitates to people who are already in motion. You have to look in the mirror and decide, right now, whether you are going to wait for lightning to strike or if you're ready to strike your own match. Most people walk around with toxic soil. They don't even realize it. They say things to themselves like, I'll never be rich, or all rich people are evil, or I'm just not good with money. And then they wonder why nothing good ever grows in their life. You are planting poison in your own garden. You have to start talking to yourself as if the deal is already signed, as if success is an inevitability. Picture the life you want. I mean, really picture it. Until you can taste the coffee in the kitchen you plan to own. Until you can feel the peace of mind of opening your banking app and seeing numbers that let you breathe. This isn't woo-woo magic. This is priming your brain to see opportunities. When your mind is fertile and ready, you'll start to notice the seeds, the opportunities that were lying around you all along. And maybe the most important part of preparing your soil is how you deal with your neighbor's garden. When you see someone else win, a friend gets a promotion, a colleague buys a house, you cannot let that weed of jealousy bite you. Jealousy is toxic to your soil. Staring at another person's feast while you sulk is like standing at a buffet with your hands in your pockets. Plenty of food, zero action. You have to treat their success as proof. It's proof that opportunity lives on your street. It's proof that the soil in your neighborhood is fertile. Your new mantra is, if that door opened for them, I can build my own door. Okay, your soil is getting healthy. You're feeling positive. You're inspired by others. But as soon as you turn your back, what happens? Weeds pop up. A good gardener knows that preparing the soil is just the beginning. The second daily task is to relentlessly pull the weeds. What are the weeds? Weeds are all the things that choke out your growth. They are the distractions, the negative inputs, the bad habits, and the pointless complaining that steal your time, energy, and focus. And let's be honest about the most aggressive, invasive weeds in the 21st century: gossip and the endless scroll. Think about it. How many hours did you lose last week to scrolling through things that made you feel either angry, envious, or numb? How much time did you spend at work or with friends complaining about a problem instead of spending that exact same energy brainstorming a solution? This is like actively dumping weed killer on your own goals. A mind that is sprayed in 20 different directions, checking email, then Instagram, then a text, then the news, then back to work, is a flashlight in a football stadium. It's bright, but it's completely useless. You have a finite amount of mental energy every single day. That's your water. Every minute you give to a weed, every minute you spend arguing with a stranger in the comments or comparing your real life to an influencer's fake one, is a minute of water you didn't give to planting a seed or nurturing your own crops. You have to be ruthless. Pull these distractions out by the roots. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel like crap. Shut down the endless, mindless scroll. Keep only the thoughts that pay rent in your head. This is why your environment is so critical. Your brain is a sponge. As the saying goes, if you hang out in a barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. Well, if you hang out with people who are constantly complaining, gossiping, and making excuses, you're going to become one of them. If everyone at your table is complaining about the cost of living and how it's impossible to get ahead, you are soaking in gloom. You have to find a new table. One where people are sharing gardening tips. One where ideas and solutions are being passed around, not just misery. So, you've prepped the soil. You've pulled the weeds. Your garden plot is clean, focused, and ready. Now what? A clean garden is nice, but it's still empty. This is the part where most people get stuck. It's time for the third and most critical daily task. You actually have to plant some seeds. A seed is any small, concrete, positive action. This is where people get paralyzed again. They think they need to plant a giant, fully grown oak tree all at once. They think, I can't save $1,000 this month, so I'll just save nothing. They think, I can't start $1 million business, so I'll just stay in my dead-end job. They are wrong. The power is in the smallness and the dailiness of the act. You don't plant a harvest, you plant a seed. What does a seed look like? It's opening a high-yield savings account today and putting $10 in it. It's reading one chapter of a book about money instead of watching Netflix. It's watching one free YouTube tutorial on a skill you can sell, like graphic design or coding or how to run social media for a local business. It's bringing your lunch to work one time and moving the $15 you saved into your investment account. A cashier I know, let's call her Sarah, tracked every dime for 1 month. She was horrified to find that 5 tiny snack runs a week, a coffee here, a bag of chips there, was bleeding $150 from her pocket every month. She swapped those impulse treats for homemade lunches and snacks. She shoveled that found $150 a month into a simple, low-cost index fund. 10 years later, those sandwiches were worth more than $25,000. Small hinges swing open massive doors. Nobody expects a seed to become a tree overnight, but they trust that if they plant it and they care for it, it will grow. You have to do the same for your finances. This applies to your career, too. If your current job feels like wet cement around your ankles, you have to start planting seeds after hours. Find something, anything that fires you up. Spend your evenings soaking up those free tutorials. Use your weekends to test a small experiment. I had another neighbor who started tinkering with broken phones. He learned from free videos, bought a $20 toolkit, and charged half of what the big shops did. His evening seed turned into a second paycheck. Within a year, that side gig out-earned his day job. You have to feed your mind more than your phone. Reading is free mentorship from giants. Every seed of knowledge you plant, about money, about a skill, about yourself, will one day bear fruit you can't even imagine right now. So you've planted your seeds. You're learning new things. You're taking small actions. You're saving a few bucks here and there. Are you done? Can you walk away? Not even close. You can't just plant a seed, walk away for 6 months, and come back expecting a harvest. You have to show up every day. The fourth daily task is watering and nurturing. And in our garden, water is consistency. Wealth is not an act, it's a habit. It's the boring, unsexy daily repetition of good decisions. This is the part of the journey that no one ever posts on Instagram. Nobody takes a selfie of them not buying the expensive coffee. Nobody makes a viral video about automatically transferring $50 into their Roth IRA. But this is the work. This is the entire game. It's stacking those small wins, brick by brick, day by day, until you have a fortress of financial freedom. And the single most important way to water your garden every single day is to live below your means. No exceptions. This is a concept that our culture actively fights against. We are told that we deserve it, that we should treat ourselves. But here's the reframe. Living below your means isn't deprivation. It's not starving your garden. It's the opposite. It's a sign of abundance. It's making sure you have a surplus of water and fertilizer to give to your most promising plants, instead of just dumping it all on the lawn. Every dollar you don't spend on a flashy car payment, a new phone you don't need, or a dinner you can't really afford is a dollar you can put to work. That dollar becomes an employee. It becomes a tiny gardener that works for you 24/7 while you sleep, making more little gardeners. This is how your financial family tree grows new branches, year after year. So how do you stay consistent when life gets busy or you lose motivation? You do what smart gardeners do. You automate. You set up an automatic irrigation system. The moment your paycheck hits your account, you should have automatic transfers set up. A little bit of water goes to your emergency fund. A little bit goes to your investments. A little bit goes to your savings goals. You pay your future self first before you even have a chance to think about it. This ensures your most important plants get watered every single time, before the weeds of impulse and lifestyle creep can steal those precious resources. Your garden is finally growing. Your soil is healthy. You've pulled the weeds of distraction. Your seeds are sprouting. Your automated irrigation system is working. You're on your way. You're building momentum. But then, one day, you wake up and there's a problem. Every single gardener, no matter how skilled, faces setbacks. A sudden drought hits. You lose your job. A swarm of pests arrives. A huge, unexpected medical bill. A freak hailstorm. A stock market crash. Life will swing at you. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. The final daily task of the wealth gardener is to protect the garden. The difference between a master gardener who eats for a lifetime and a novice who starves after one bad season is that the master has prepared for this. How do you protect your garden? First, you guard your time and energy like a hawk. You understand that time is the one resource you can never, ever get back. You say yes to the projects that move you forward and a firm, polite no to anything that just steals your daylight. But more tactically, you have to build a fence. That fence, in financial terms, is your emergency fund. Even if it starts as a single folded bill. Even if it's just $500 or $1,000 to start. That fund is the fence that keeps the deer, the unexpected troubles of life, from eating your entire harvest. Without that fence, one bad day, one blown car transmission, forces you to rip your growing plants, your investments, out of the ground to pay for it, setting you right back to zero. An emergency fund turns a potential disaster into a mere inconvenience. This is also how you must think about debt. You must guard your credit score. A good credit score is like having a key to the community tool shed. It gives you access to low-cost tools, loans, when you need them. But you must be wise. You only borrow for assets that pay you back. You borrow to buy more land, like a rental property, or a better tractor, like a certification that increases your income. You never borrow for things that are consumed and disappear, like a vacation or a fancy meal on a credit card. Your reputation, your integrity, your health, and your credit. These are all part of the fence. They protect what you've built and allow you to expand your garden on your own terms, season after season, no matter what storms come your way. So, there you have it. We've walked through the entire process. And as you can see, wealth isn't sorcery. It's not luck. It's not some green thumb that you're either born with or you're not. Wealth is simply the natural outcome of ordinary people repeating these simple daily gardening tasks with uncommon consistency. It's the result of choosing to be an active gardener instead of a passive spectator in your own life. Now, this path isn't easy. It requires you to show up every day. It means choosing to pull a weed when you'd rather scroll. It means choosing to plant a seed when you're tired. It means choosing to patiently water your plants while others are showing off the plastic flowers they bought with debt. But the decade will pass anyway. Time will slide by whether you act or you drift. The only question is whether 10 years from now, you'll look back at a garden that is thriving and full of fruit, or one that's choked with the weeds of regret. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make, starting today. If you're ready to pick up your tools, tend to your garden, and get your money right, prove it by hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.